Om Namo Narayana. I decided this year my New Year's goal would be to read the Sri Bhagavatam, because it's one of the most influential texts for us that believe in Krishna, and I'd seen it referenced by Swami Prabhupada and other places, but I hadn't read it. I've read books about it, but I hadn't read it. And the desire to read the Sri Bhagavatam is actually part of what turned me into wanting to do this channel, because I wanted to read this, but I also wanted to read other things. Well, we're finally getting there. I'm going to do the entire Sri Bhagavatam, broken up, though, with some other books in between. We're doing the translation by Swami Prabhupada. There may be others that are better or iffy. I generally find his stuff is pretty good. There are a few little things that sometimes I question, but for the most part, I think he's pretty good, and my teachers actually recommend him too. So today, let's start. Canto 1, Creation. Chapter 1, Questions by the Sages. O my Lord Sri Krishna, Son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances to you. I meditate upon Sri Krishna, because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. It is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one who is bewildered by the illusory representations of water seen in fire, or land seen on water. Only because of him do the material universes, temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of nature, appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Sri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. Completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated, this Bhagavata Purana propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. The highest truth is reality, distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. This beautiful Bhagavatam, compiled by the great sage Vasudeva in his maturity, is sufficient in itself for God realization. What is the need of any other scripture? As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established within the heart. O expert and thoughtful men, relish Srimad Bhagavatam, the mature fruit of the desire tree of Vedic literatures. It emanated from the lips of Sri Sukadeva Goswami. Therefore this fruit has become even more tasteful, though its nectarian juice was already relishable for all, including liberated souls. Once in a holy place in the forest of Namisaranya, great sages, headed by the sage Shakunaka, assembled to perform a great 1,000-year sacrifice for the satisfaction of the Lord and his devotees. One day, after finishing their morning duties by burning a sacrificial fire and offering a seat of esteem, the Sri Suta Goswami, the great sages, made inquiries with great respect about the following matters. The sages said, "Respected Suta Goswami, you are completely free from all vice. You are well versed in all the scriptures famous for religious life, and in the Puranas and the histories as well. For you have gone through them under proper guidance and have also explained them. Being the eldest learned Vedantist, O Suta Goswami, you are acquainted with the knowledge of Vasudeva, who is the incarnation of Godhead. And you also know other sages who are fully versed in all kinds of physical and metaphysical knowledge. And because you are submissive, your spiritual masters have endowed you with all the favors bestowed upon a gentle disciple. Therefore, you can tell us all that you have scientifically learned from them. Please, therefore, being blessed with many years, explain to us, in an easily understandable way, what you have ascertained to be the absolute and ultimate good for the people in general. Ah, learned one, in this iron age of Kali, men almost always have but short lives. They are quarrelsome, lazy, misguided, unlucky, and above all, always disturbed. Ah, learned one, there are many varieties of scriptures, and in all of them there are many prescribed duties, which can be learned only after many years of study in their various divisions. Therefore, O sage, please select the essence of these scriptures and explain it for the good of all living beings, that by such instruction their hearts may be fully satisfied. All blessings upon you. Oh, Suta Goswami, you know for what purpose Lord Vishnu appeared in the womb of Devaki as the son of Vasudeva. Oh, Suta Goswami, we are eager to learn about Lord Vishnu and his incarnations. Please explain to us those teachings imparted by previous masters, the Achyas, for one is uplifted both by speaking them and by hearing them. Living beings who are entangled in the complicated meshes of birth and death can be freed immediately by even unconsciously chanting the holy name of Krishna, which is feared by fear personified. Ah, Sutra, those great sages who have completely taken shelter in the lotus feet of the Lord can at once sanctify those who come in touch with them, whereas the waters of the Ganges can sanctify only after prolonged use. Who is there, desiring deliverance from the vices of the age of quarrel, who is not willing to hear the virtuous glories of the Lord? His transcendental acts are magnificent and gracious, and great learned sages like Narada sing of them. Please, therefore, speak to us, who are eager to hear about the adventures he performs in his various incarnations. O wise Suta, please narrate to us the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Godhead's multi-incarnations. Such auspicious adventures and pastimes of the Lord, the Supreme Controller, are performed by his eternal powers. We never tire of hearing the transcendental pastimes of Lord Vishnu, who is glorified by hymns and prayers. Those who have developed a taste for transcendental relationships with him relish hearing of his pastimes at every moment. Sri Vishnu, Lord Krishna, along with Balarama, played like a human being, and so matched, he performed many superhuman acts. Knowing well that the age of Kali has already begun, we are assembled here in this holy place to hear at great length the transcendental message of Godhead, and in this way perform sacrifice. We think that we have met your goodness by the will of Providence, just so that we may accept you as captain of the ship for those who desire to cross the difficult ocean of Kali, which deteriorates all the good qualities of a human being. Since Lord Krishna, the absolute truth, the master of all mystic powers, has departed for his own abode, please tell us to whom the religious principles have now gone for shelter. And thus ends this chapter. Sitting behind me, my cat joining us. So I just want to say, if you are interested in, hearing the Bhagavatam, we'll be reading the whole thing. But if you want to skip forward and just get some information about Krishna, of course, stay tuned to these videos, but I also wanted to recommend a book that I actually am reading right now. It's a 2-volume set on Krishna. This is volume 1, and I'm about 100 pages in. And this is Swami Prabhupada's summation of many things that are in the Sri Bhagavatam. It takes the story of Krishna, and just the story of Krishna, and puts it into a story form. The Bhagavatam is about all sorts of other things, but this is just a prose take on Krishna. If you're interested in Krishna, I would recommend this book if you have the time to read it. It looks huge, but it's really only 360 pages or so. It's not the best written. It's not like reading Stephen King or something eloquent. But if you just want to get the story of Krishna, honestly, of things I've read, this is one of the best things that's just that story, without being other stuff and teachings and whatever. So I just want to recommend that, simply because ironically here I am reading now the Bhagavatam and also this, which kind of go together, and I read a lot and lots of resources, and it's said in the Vedas we need to share what we know. All of us are teachers, and we learn this stuff for ourselves, but also to share it. So, recommendation: this book if you want the story of Krishna. And otherwise, we will pick up chapter 2 in the next video as we go through the Sri Bhagavatam. Comments, questions, thoughts, all that stuff. Would love to hear it. Whatever it's about, let's start a conversation together and let's enjoy this. We're doing these videos to learn together, to just whatever, I don't know, your goal is, but mine is to learn, but also to praise Krishna. Reading these texts is not really puja, but it's a form of puja, I guess. So here we go. Thank you for joining me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.